Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles. And today, you're probably thinking, oh great, another rattlesnake video because I'm standing in front of my awesome rattlesnake cages. Nope, you're wrong. Today's going to be a Sobek video. So here's what we're going to do today. Let me kind of set the parameters. So Sobek, we first moved him over here. He's got a lot more space than he had. I really like the setup. However, he broke his heat right away. So we need to install a new heat. And I'll be honest, guys, it's taken us a lot longer than it should. And that's on us. But truth be told, if you knew how much stuff was going on in our lives, it'd probably be a little bit of understanding outside of just the reptile world. Because believe it or not, we got other things we have to do. But today is the day we're going to fix it. And we're going to kind of talk about the materials we used, why we selected the materials that are different than our original ones, and what we're going to try to get the water temperature to be. Now, what you don't see in here is there's usually water flow, so I can see the salt deposits on the wall. We obviously shut that down for the video because it makes too much noise. But this is flowing water, which is really kind of important for dwarf caimans. We just have to heat the water. He has heat coming from two sources over the land and a heater over the water. That heater over the water is not going to do enough to heat the water, especially when it's moving. It's more just ambient temp. But when we heat the water up, I expect Sobek to really take off in this cage and start feeding well, whereas he's been very, very spotty. And he's even probably lost a little bit of girth in his tail, so he's used a little bit of fat reserves. So we're going to get that fixed, and we're going to get that fixed right now.
Hey guys, so I'm going to take over now because, I don't know, Matt says he doesn't have the skills and everything to drill a hole in a brick. I guess that kind of gives away what we're going to do. But so what we did is we picked out this is a heater for the water. This one's made out of titanium, where the other one we had was more of an aluminum one, I guess. What? Glass, yeah. So this one is a titanium one, and you can tell it's a lot better made, where he's not going to be able to bite into it or damage it anyway. He can bite into this, but we have like a pipe that we're going to put this through, so he won't be able to get to this part. And so what we're going to do is basically drill a hole in a brick and two bricks. So we're going to have one at each end. And I can move this one over here to the ends on the outside of the brick. So being here, so then the brick won't be able to, this won't be able to slide out of it or anything. So what I did is I took a tape measure and measured this. And this is 3/4 of an inch. I don't know what that is in centimeters for anyone that's in a different country than the United States. So then I just got a masonry brick or a drill bit that's 3/4 of an inch. And I just picked up, these are just regular like paver bricks that you can get. I bought these at Home Depot, and I think they were like 49 cents a piece. And then also on this, this is a pretty cool one. It has like the whole digital display on there and has a probe with it too, so it's going to run down. Because the other one I think had it on the glass or something. It had like an indicator when it tell it was on and everything. So this one's like a lot better quality than the one we had before. So we're going to have to take the probe and put it like a little bit away from it, so it's so it's not right next to it. But we'll do that when we get it all done. So what I did is I already tried this out and I drilled the hole, and you can tell that it's already going to fit. So it's going to basically sit in here like this with another one here. So when we get to it, I have one more hole to drill, and then we'll go ahead and get it installed. We're going to move some stuff around. And we also need to move the caiman because he's basically, I think, right where we're going to put the heater anyway. So let's get to drilling. Are you still filming? And this also is, this drill has different functions. And if you're going to do like masonry or anything, this has a hammer drill function, which allows it to drill through the brick a lot better. Okay, well now we have our second hole.
Quick question.
Yeah.
When you make your holes, how do you want them to fit?
You want them to fit snug. You don't want a lot of slop on the sides or anything.
So you don't want a loose hole?
No, not a loose hole.
Loose holes are bad?
In this case, they are.
In what cases are they not?
I don't know, other ones.
Is there any time you want a loose hole?
Probably.
Probably. I don't know. I think you should keep your holes nice and snug.
Yeah.
Good snug hole. All right, guys, so we're done kind of resetting the cage. You'll see the water has cleared up a lot from what we showed you. The filter's off right now just because it makes so much noise. It makes the camera pretty much near impossible to do. Okay, I double-checked. I did turn on my mic, thank God. Otherwise, I had to redo this whole section, and Kurt gets mad at me and beats me a lot. This is a very dysfunctional partnership. There's a dungeon downstairs. I'm just going to say that. Actually, there kind of is a dungeon downstairs, but that's a whole story for the day. But the filter's doing a really good job. It's much clearer than it was. You can see the heat system and how that's sunk. I don't think you'll be able to push that up. When we first set this up, the water was, again, it was extremely cold. The temperature on the water in the span of about an hour and a half or so has already risen about 7 degrees. That's a really big increase considering this amount of water and the fact that it was flowing, which makes it take longer because it actually mixes the water, so you're not going to get hot spots and cool spots. Now our buddy Sobek, he is obviously still up on his shelf, and he is underneath his spot lamp there, which is a 100-watt CHE. So he's warming his head and neck. He's warming up there. He'll get into the water eventually and feel how much nicer it is for him. And this water is set to get to between about 80 and 84 degrees. So pretty warm tropical. I know some guys keep these dudes a little cooler at like 78. He was raised at an 80-degree temp and did a really good at about 84. So that seems to be where he likes it, and that's what we're going to try to give him. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping that he's not going to eat in here right now in front of us. I know that's not going to happen. One, it's still too cool. Two, I really pissed him off. So when he's pissed off, you know, he's going to take some time to settle down. But what we are going to go ahead and do is place a small food item in here for him, and that way he's got it. And as he gets in the water and the water's warmed back up, he may choose after we're gone to go ahead and eat that, which is, of course, our hope, because we want him back on food really well. Now, again, we still use our dog training clicker right here. That just lets him know that what's coming in is edible. So we'll throw that little mouse in there. And again, now, if you remember old Sobek, whenever he was warmed up and tuned up all the time, that would be gone already. He would have snatched that up. But what happens when you kind of work with these gators, if you remember back to your days of watching Steve Irwin like I do, is they're going to build up a lot of lactic acid in the muscles. And they just don't give a shit, and they're going to have to take a break and warm back up and do all of that. So that's what he's currently doing. So he's not going to waste much energy. He's also feeling quite exposed because the lights are on. I'm standing over here, the camera's on, and we will darken his cage for him before we go. And then I'll come back tomorrow, and hopefully that little mouse will be gone. I plan on adding a bunch of fish in here for him because fish are something he can snack on when he wants, and that'll be one of the first things he'll go back to eating very well. And then my guess is within a short amount of time here, we'll get Sobek up to pounding full-size rats and chicken legs again here very soon. I think it'd be really cool to get him back on doing that. And that way when people come here from Patreon and stay in the house or visit, they'll be able to feed Sobek like a chicken leg. I mean, that's pretty fucking cool, right? I think so. I know when I was first introduced to dwarf caimans, it was at a little reptile shop, which is a precursor to the shop that we own part of now. And they had a dwarf caiman, and for so much money, you could feed the dwarf caiman, which basically meant you were paying somebody to feed their own pet. I mean, genius, right? And I'd go in there and all the time, I'd spend a couple bucks to feed the dwarf caiman because it's just so neat to watch him. And that was where I decided that I needed my own. I will tell you, Sobek is bigger than the dwarf caiman ever was in that shop. So he's done very good. Man, I love this guy. So I'm hoping that he takes off with his new heat element. We get his water back going. We'll actually show you the flow. We'll plug it back in. It'll be a bit noisy. You can see how the water flows around in a circle. So kind of what the system is. One thing we would like to add in here for him is probably some places to hide. Did you plug in something? Ah, you plugged in an extra light. Sorry about that. So it plugs in right through there through a pond filter, pardon the extra noise. So what this is going to do, because they're a species that'll spend a lot of time in flowing water, it gives the water kind of a flow around in a circle. Also keeps it nice and mixed. It's going through the pond filter, through the pump, and then back out through that to kind of get it moving. This will also aerate the water so we can keep fish in here for him to eat. Fish is not the healthiest thing for them. Their diet shouldn't be all fish, but some fish won't hurt. So anyway, guys, that's Sobek. We probably do need to add, oh, you just blinked at me. That's so cute. You know, like maybe some lily pads or something for him to kind of maybe feel a little more secure. Some fake floating plants would be a good add in here so he can kind of get in that water and kind of disappear. That might also help him get going, so we do plan on doing that. As a matter of fact, when I'm picking up the fish, I'm probably just going to throw in some plastic floating stuff. So that's all I got. Kurt, anything you want to add?
Nope.
All right, guys, it's been a long time coming, but life has a way of slowing things down, and we finally just drew a line in the sand and said today's a day. Doesn't matter if it's a late night. We've got to fix his heat source because when we first put him in here, he did good. He broke his heat right away, but I think it'll be harder for him to break this one. The difference is the old one was on a plastic pipe like that, and once he pushed it up, it stayed up and then fried out of the glass, melted the plastic pipe, smelled terrible in here. We were lucky we didn't have any injury to him or anything else. So this one being weighted with the bricks and the bricks stuck on, even if he pushes it up, it's going to sink itself back down as opposed to staying in that position. We had it wired down, we thought, but he just tore that up. I mean, he's a menace to society. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.